So hello, welcome to an episode of For Fact's Sake with Nisha. If it wasn't obvious, I'm Nisha. I'm one of the editors of the Fact Fiend videos, and for this episode I am going to talk about how I came to be part of the Fact Fiend crew. So we had a group meeting earlier this week on the 25th, and we're talking about anniversaries that the channel was approaching or that we'd missed, because we missed most anniversaries. I happened to look up when I first appeared in a Fact Fiend video, and funnily enough, it was the next day, like literally the 26th of April, and it was 3 years ago, so April 26, 2019. This is the video that I starred in. I'll probably link it below if you want to watch it. Karl just suggested, why don't you do a For Fact's Sake on like how you joined the channel? Because I think it's a question that a lot of people tend to ask. So it all started when I went to uni. I went to the same university as Karl, Brad and Lucas. I was on the same course as Brad, so I did film and visual effects. So a quick bonus fact, which I don't think I've ever mentioned, is I actually joined the wrong course. When I was applying for courses for uni, I saw the course Media and Film Production, read about it, was like, yeah, I want to join that one. But then when it came to applying, I don't know what happened, because this was like a while ago now. I just picked media, I just picked the course media, thinking it was the same course, like film and media. I can't pinpoint exactly when I realised I was on the wrong course, because I'm sure I would have been given like a class schedule or something and been like, oh, no, this sounds a bit off. But I do remember going to one of the classes and sitting there and thinking, this is not what I signed up for, this is journalism. It was literally like media journalism, and I'm like, this is not my course. And I remember like approaching the teacher after the class and being like, I'm on the wrong course. And then like they obviously helped me out, told me where to go, and I remember spending that week trying to move courses, and the one that I wanted to go on was full. And they were like, well, you can either join another course now or, you know, take a gap year and come back and do film and media production. And I think back then I was a bit more laid back, and I know I didn't want to take a year out, I wanted to stay in education. I was like, well, are there any courses similar? And that's when I was told about film and visual effects. So I was like, oh, that sounds quite interesting. And, you know, I met the course leader, he showed me some like previous students' work, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll just join it, it's the same sort of thing. I feel like now, if I had the choice, I'd be a bit more like, maybe I should take a year out and, you know, think about what I want to do. So basically I got into film and visual effects like by accident. And so that's where I met Brad, and we worked on a lot of projects together. And then I met Karl and Lucas during house parties that we held. Okay, what the actual video is about is how I joined Fact Fiend. So I feel like back then I was a bit more, I don't know, like a bit more extroverted. I remember thinking, right, I want to work in a large TV film production company. I want to travel all over the country, filming loads of different things. I just want to be constantly doing stuff and always having work to do and meeting loads of people, networking, and, you know, just being busy. I just wanted to be busy. The thing is, with this sort of industry, it's more about, I think, who you know than what you know. And I realised it's a very difficult industry to get into, because even though I had a master's degree, I'm still struggling to get jobs. So I ended up doing a lot of freelance work, a lot of stuff for free. Worked at DocFest a few years just to try and meet people, just to get to know people and basically get some experience in that industry. But it wasn't a lot. It was never enough. And I did get the odd job interview where my role would have been cinematographer, editor, but I just never, you know, secured the job. So I was finding it really difficult to get a job in that industry. And also at the same time, I was working a full-time job in retail, and I hated it. Should probably mention as well that when I did finish uni and start working the retail job, I did move back home. So I was in a different town. I wasn't in Sheffield anymore. And I feel like working that retail job and then the knockbacks from unsuccessful job interviews like knocked my confidence a lot. And I think especially with the retail job, I wasn't passionate about that job. I hated working there. And then the people I had to deal with, there were just some of them just really horrible people, and I think it just kind of really put a dent to my confidence. And I just felt like I was becoming more introverted, and just felt like I wasn't really good at anything. But even though I felt like that, I still carried on, and I managed to get some work experience at the BBC as a runner. And honestly, it was great. It was a great experience. It felt really cool to be part of, you know, actual TV production. And I felt really lucky to have that experience because hundreds of applicants had applied and like they chose me and I was the only one. I was the only one there. And yeah, I really appreciated the work experience, but I remember being like, I don't know if I really want to be a runner. I don't want to do this runner business. I just want to edit and film and stuff. But obviously with a lot of companies like that, it's like entry level that you start as a runner. So I'm like, I'm going to have to just be a runner, put up with it for so many years and work my way up. And then I remember almost a year later, even though I'm applying for jobs, after having this work experience stuff, I was still nothing. And I was just so drained and just so tired and just fed up of being in the retail job. So yeah, I thought, right, I'm going to change this. I'm going to move back to Sheffield and do freelance stuff as well as working at the City Hall. Because with City Hall, you can choose your shifts, so I could be very flexible with my work schedule. So I was like, oh, that would work perfectly. So yeah, I moved back to Sheffield in 2017 and worked at City Hall whilst trying to do freelance stuff, and I got the odd job, like I did stuff for So Far Sounds. I remember I did some photography for a couple of weddings. That's really not my thing, and although I did get the odd freelance gig, it was too few and far between. Like I couldn't live off of it, and I just felt so stuck in a rut. Like I was struggling to get work that I wanted to do, to a point where I was like, should I keep doing this? Should I just give up? It got to the start of 2019 and I was working a shift at City Hall and I went on my break and I received this message from Karl. And it was, because I looked it up so I can get the exact message. So it was the 5th of January. This is what the message said. Hey Nisha, how would you feel about editing a video per week? Thinking of doing something new on the channel and potentially want to bring another editor into the fold to maintain quality and consistency. Cheers. I saw that, I was like, yes, of course. And at this point I knew about Fact Fiend, obviously, because I was still friends with the guys, so I knew what they were doing. And oh yeah, I was actually a patron on their Patreon. I was giving them like a £5 a month to support them. So when I got that message, I was like, yes, count me in. And that is when the Fact Fiend focus videos were born. So I got advice from Brad on how he edited the videos, and then I would put my own spin on it to make the focuses look a bit different, you know, with like the no corners and the gradient and having one singular picture or video clip behind Karl. And originally we were meant to have like the video clips in as like normal video clips, but we kept getting copyright strikes because we were using too many clips of the same film. So that's why the video clips are behind Karl with no sound. The only one that was an exception to the copyright stuff was the one called Songs in Media That Get You Hype, because like straight away we knew it was going to get copyright struck. So we're like, you know what, it doesn't matter, we're just going to talk about songs that we really like. And that was like one of my favourite focus videos to edit. So that was like, yeah, the start of me joining Fact Fiend. That was just me as an editor. So I started in February 2019, and then 2 months later I was in my first video off camera. It's like, I remember like I remember because Karl wanted to like bring in a new voice, change up the dynamic and conversation a little bit. So yeah, he asked if I wanted to be in a video. Yeah, I remember that day because I was so scared. I was literally shaking. I never do this sort of thing. I don't know what I'm doing. And not only was I voiced off camera, I also edited that one as well. So that was my first main Fact Fiend video that I edited. And you know what they say, the rest is history. And I'm still here 3 years later, still enjoying it. I just really like the fact that, you know, I can work with my friends and I can work at home from the comfort of my own office. I can decorate my office how I like. I can do what I want, which isn't always good because you can just put stuff off and be like, I'll do it tomorrow, and no one can stop you. And it's so nice just to be able to work my own time, like in the comfort of my own home, because I mentioned earlier that I, you know, slowly became more introverted. So I think this is like the perfect sort of work environment for me. No stress, no rushing, just chill, funny videos, you have a laugh with your friends, you learn some facts. I've learned so many facts, but then again, I've probably forgotten half of them because my memory is like a sieve. And also on top of that, we now have this second channel, so I can be even more creative. I never know how to end these. Cold. So as always, thank you for the support. If it weren't for the fans of the channel, I wouldn't be in this job and I'd probably still be stuck doing some crappy retail job that I'm not passionate about. So yeah, again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in another video.